We're joined by new Margate Club captain, Ben Greenhalgh. First of all, Ben, congratulations on the new role. You're back for the 2022-23 season. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be exciting. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. I came in here with Jay, and now obviously Andy's taken over, but I've had some really good conversations with Andy, and it's something I'm looking forward to, something that I'll be eager to help out as much as possible. If there's going to be a little bit of a turnover of players, we're looking to try and bring in the best players to have a good season.
And you mentioned obviously the changes over the summer with Jay departing and obviously Andy Drury, now the club's new manager. He's putting faith in you as captain. How have your conversations with Andy gone so far?
Yeah, they've gone really well. I've had a lot of phone calls with him over the last 2 weeks. So they've actually gone really positively, and obviously he was keen to keep me here. I was keen to stay here as well. And obviously being offered captaincy is a good step for me in my career, and I was very proud to do that for Margate Football Club. So that's something that I'll try and kick on in everything that I can do, whether that's on the pitch and off the pitch, and it's something that I'll keep trying to help and help Andy push forward with the club and help Margate go forward.
When we talk about the role of captain, what do you think that means to you? What will that role involve?
I think for me it's going to be a little bit from what I've learnt from previous captains, and it's very much a case of I can talk to the supporters, I'll talk to the fans, I'll try and help, and I'll be like I was last season as much as I can with the youth, and that's a big thing for me. Obviously, where I coach academy football, I know how effective it can be and how good it is to have the first team involved with the whole youth section and the supporters and everything. So that's something that I'll get involved in, and also at the same time is to sort of lean on Andy Drury as well, because he's had a very good playing career, and offer my experience into the changing room, because obviously some of the players that are going to be a little bit younger, a little bit inexperienced, maybe new to the level, and there's going to be certain games where we're going to need experienced players, and we're going to need experienced players to step up and try and lead, and hopefully that's something I can do.
And Andy spoke actually on your announcement saying that you're a leader on and off the pitch. Is that something you're relishing as well? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it's very much in a different way to certain captains as on the pitch, because you're probably not going to go and see me putting 2-foot tackles and doing all the really physical dominant stuff in the middle of the pitch. But there's plenty of captains that maybe lead with different examples, like scoring goals or creating goals, and also just talking. Let's be honest, I think the biggest thing in football is the communication. So as long as I'm out there communicating in the right way, then that's something that's going to be a step up.
And while we're on the subject of captains, obviously you're going to be the captain for the new season. You've had an incredible career up to date. You must have played under some fantastic captains in your career. And what will you learn from them that you maybe have come across before in the past?
Yeah, I played under some very different and very good captains. I think one of the most recent captains that I played under was Elliot Bradbrook at Dartford, and you walked into the changing room and he was just a captain. He was just straight away, you could just see he was the captain of the football club for 10 years. So you knew why, because he led with the way that he played, he led with the way that he spoke to referees and the way that he got the changing room going, and he acted like a captain. And they're the sort of things. But I've also played under a lot of captains. I mean, for me, one that I'll probably learn from in a way was Steve Corley, who was one of my really good friends at Concord Rangers, because he was an attacking captain. I think all of the other captains I've played for, obviously Steve Watt at Maidstone, who's obviously well known here and liked here. So he was someone that was just hard, being that type of captain, getting the most out of players. But also, I think with all of them, it's someone you can talk to. Another one was at Concord, Steve King. Like Steve King was someone you just knew what you were going to get from him. He'd give you 100%. And I think with every captain that I've played for, it was probably a case of they're very much easy to go and talk to one-on-one. You can go and get advice of them. They'll always give you the good advice. I've never actually played for a captain that would be that hard man or anything like that, but then also be that hard man off the pitch. I think the biggest thing for me that I'm going to try and take on towards is being that good off the pitch. And I think probably the best one, which is obviously a world-class player who I've got a name dropping, was Javier Zanetti. And the only reason I'm going to drop him, because where I was in the youth section, he'd come straight over to the youth section every game. After every training session, he'd shake your hand, he'd talk to you, make you feel a part of everything that was there. So that those sort of things is something that I know if I'm going to wear that armband, it's not just a case of wearing the armband for 90 minutes out on the pitch. It's a case of what comes with that armband, and it's very much those sort of things of getting the most out of the next section.
Absolutely. And now coming more about your performances last year. Obviously 24 goals in all competition, 28 assists. It was a fantastic season for yourself. Are you hoping to replicate and better that this coming season?
Yeah, I'll always set myself targets. I think realistically I probably won't set targets that high, but at the same time I want to better it, so it's going to be something that I look towards. I think if I'm not quite hitting those goals numbers, then hopefully we've got a number 9 that's doing that and scoring sort of 30 goals this season. That would be brilliant, but it's something that I'm going to be looking towards. That my game when I'm out there is to try and create. We've got defenders who need to defend, we've got midfielders who need to win second balls and keep the ball ticking over. At the end of the day, my job out there is to create, make things happen. So if I'm not doing that, then there's something wrong. So I'm very much going to try and better that.
And it only feels like yesterday the season finished, but it feels like tomorrow the season will be here again. The Glebe friendly 9th of July. It's obviously free to all supporters to come along. It will soon come round, but what's it like for you now as a player, now the captain, this off-season period where obviously football seems to have stopped on the field, but it doesn't stop off it, does it?
No, it's a strange one because I think now you're busier on the phone. Obviously, like I said, I'm talking to Andy all the time, talking to other players, giving advice to certain players, even giving advice to players that aren't to do with this football club about where they're going, and they're asking me about certain managers and should they play for them and things. So for me, it's more of a time on the phone. It's different to be sort of waking up on a Saturday and not have to travel down here and play. I won't lie, it's quite boring. But the good thing is I get to spend time with my family at the moment, so that's a very big thing, because for the weekends generally I'm only ever there on a Sunday, so it's good to spend a Saturday and Sunday with them. But at the same time I'm eager, I'm ready to go, I'm keeping myself fit. I always set myself challenges throughout the off season in terms of fitness challenges, because don't do too much regarding football, but I know when we're back in pre-season in sort of say 6 weeks time, then we're going to be doing plenty of football then, so I keep myself ticking over, try and keep myself fit. And generally I think a lot of managers in the past will say and admit it, I always try and come back as fit as I possibly can be. I want to be the fittest, I want to be the quickest, win all the runs. So that's just a desire that I've got in my head from since I was young, so it's something that gets the best out of myself.
Obviously it's been a huge boost, you coming back for the new season, taking on the role as captain. You almost become a spokesperson for the club as well. Supporters watching this interview now at home, what would be your first message to them as club captain of Margate Football Club?
It's a difficult one, because obviously I'm quite communicative with a lot of the fans, but what I would say is it's not going to be a negative season. That's definitely, I wouldn't have stayed on if things were going down. Things aren't going down. Our objective is to keep pushing on, to keep progressing. There's no denying Jay was a brilliant manager and we have lost him, but he's gone to a full-time role at Tunbridge Angels in the league above, so it's completely understandable, and obviously I wish him all the best with that. We've lost Swifty. If we're being honest, I think we were always going to lose Swifty because he wanted to play higher, and that's completely understandable as well, because he'd been here for 4 years, he'd been captain for 4 years, and he just wanted to test himself at another level. So those two things are completely understandable, and for me it's you got to control the controllables, and I think that's something that we really can do. Maybe there hasn't been the news that fans wanted to hear over the last 6 weeks, and I know they're looking for the clubs for things to be happening, but having spoken to Ricky a lot, spoken to Andy, I feel like we are on a step forwards. Don't want to say be patient, because at the same time I'm one that's eager for this club to step it up a gear. If we're being completely honest, I wouldn't have come here if I didn't believe this was going to happen, we wanted this to happen. But all I can promise them is we're still going to give them performances on the pitch. Every 90 minutes we're going to try and do what we did and replicate what we did last year, if not even better. And like I said, I think the fan support last year was brilliant, and we need that. And I think when you look back to it, I know we had a disappointing cup final and we didn't turn up, it wasn't good enough, but if you look at the run to it, how brilliant was Haringey Borough away, and how brilliant were some of the home games here where we win in the last minute, even Gillingham at home with the penalty shootout, and even the lead up to that cup final day was brilliant, and that made me I felt a bit more of a part of Margate, and that's something that's why I wanted to hang about and push on.
Brilliant, thanks for your time, Ben.
No worries.